She rarely speaks about what hurts her. You might not see her cry or hear her voice tremble with pain. When asked how she's doing, she'll probably say she's fine, even if inside her heart feels heavy and burdened. The Taurus woman experiences grief quietly, holding it close like a familiar, ancient weight. She moves through life with a calm exterior, steady and reliable, giving the impression that everything is under control. But beneath that still surface lies a deep world of unspoken sorrow, memories that linger, and emotions she's learned to carry alone. This isn't about drama or weakness, it's about survival, about a woman built to endure by staying grounded, loyal, and composed, even when it costs her. In this video, we'll explore that silent grief, the emotional strength it takes to carry it, and the parts of herself the Taurus woman rarely reveals. Chapter 1: The Stillness She Lives In. There's a quiet strength in the Taurus woman, a grounded calm that often masks a deep, complex emotional world. She moves through life with steady composure, giving the impression that everything is under control. But beneath this stillness lies feelings she rarely shows. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and her connection to love and beauty runs deep, but so does her need for stability and security. Unlike some signs, Taurus women tend to internalize pain. Instead of expressing grief outwardly, they hold it inside, creating a silent endurance. This stillness isn't indifference or weakness, it's a protective shield against emotional chaos. She wants to be the dependable rock for others, so vulnerability feels risky, even if inside she's carrying heavy burdens. This inner calm serves as her sanctuary. In a world that can feel unpredictable and harsh, she finds safety in routine, loyalty, and the small comforts that ground her. But this need for stability can make it difficult to release pain or change course, even when healing requires it. She often stays silent because breaking the calm feels like risking everything she's worked to protect. Over time, this quiet strength can become isolating. The grief and disappointments she doesn't speak of settle deep within her, shaping how she sees herself and the world. It often shows up physically, in tension or fatigue, because her body carries what her heart can't say aloud. Many mistake her silence for strength, but it's also a form of solitude. Behind her calm exterior is a woman who has endured much and longs to be truly seen. Her stillness is both survival and grace, a quiet resilience that waits patiently to be understood. Chapter 2: The Weight of Being Relied Upon. For the Taurus woman, being reliable is both a source of pride and a heavy burden. She's often the one others turn to in times of need, the steady foundation everyone depends on. This role suits her grounded nature, like she values loyalty deeply and finds meaning in being a rock for those she loves. But this responsibility can weigh heavily on her spirit. The more she gives, the more she feels the pressure to never falter, to always remain strong and steady, even when she's quietly struggling inside. This constant need to be dependable can make it difficult for her to express her own vulnerabilities. She fears that showing weakness might cause others to see her differently, or worse, to lose faith in her. So, she sacrifices her own emotional needs to maintain the illusion of unshakable strength. Over time, this creates a cycle where her quiet endurance becomes invisible and her pain goes unnoticed. She carries not only her own grief, but the unspoken expectations of others. Beneath this weight lies a deep longing to be understood and supported in return. Yet, she often doesn't know how to ask for help or even recognize her own needs fully. Her pride and self-reliance create walls that keep others at a distance. The Taurus woman must learn that true strength sometimes means letting go of control and allowing herself to be held. In this chapter, we see how the burden of being the dependable one shapes her inner world, a complex mix of loyalty, sacrifice, and silent yearning for connection. Chapter 3: the silent grief of feeling misunderstood. Though she may not say it aloud, the Taurus woman often carries a quiet grief, the sense that no one truly sees her for who she is. On the surface, she may appear content, composed, and even predictable, but beneath that steadiness lives a world of nuance, emotion, and inner complexity that rarely gets acknowledged. She's not quick to open up, and because of her calm demeanor, people often assume she doesn't feel things deeply. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, her emotions run deep and steady, just like the earth she's ruled by. She remembers the little things others forget. She attaches meaning to moments long after they've passed. And when someone dismisses her depth or oversimplifies her, it leaves a lasting imprint. Over time, this builds into a quiet sorrow, the ache of being loved for her stability, but not truly understood for her spirit. What hurts most is when others interpret her stillness as coldness or her independence as a lack of emotional need. She may not always express her feelings in dramatic ways, but she yearns for emotional intimacy, the kind that doesn't require her to explain or perform, but simply lets her be. The grief comes from realizing how rare it is to be seen in that way. This chapter unveils the emotional world hidden behind her composed presence, the kind of grief that grows not from loud heartbreaks, but from being consistently misread by the people who think they know her best. Chapter 4: Why She Chooses Loyalty Over Liberation. At her core, the Taurus woman is fiercely loyal, sometimes to a fault. It's not just a personality trait, it's a code she lives by. When she loves, she roots herself, even in situations where she feels emotionally undernourished or spiritually stagnant. Her instinct is to hold on, to work through it, to stay. Many see this as strength, and in many ways it is, but what most don't see is the internal conflict it creates. She often faces moments where her soul quietly asks, "Is this truly right for me?" But instead of leaping, she weighs, she waits. Not out of fear, but because she takes her commitments seriously. She doesn't run at the first sign of discomfort. She stays and tries to grow something real from it. Yet this same loyalty can become a chain, keeping her in situations that no longer serve her simply because she once believed in them. What she rarely admits is that liberation, real radical freedom, scares her. Not because she doesn't crave it, but because it often requires releasing control. And control is what's made her feel safe in an unpredictable world. Letting go feels like chaos, so she chooses the familiar even when it hurts. She chooses the known over the possibility of a better unknown. This chapter reveals the quiet, ongoing battle between her loyalty and her longing, and how, for the Taurus woman, freedom isn't about breaking free, it's about learning how to stay true to herself without staying stuck. And so, if you've ever wondered why the Taurus woman seems so composed, so anchored, know that behind that steady gaze is a lifetime of learning how to hold herself through chaos. She doesn't rush to speak because she's learned the value of silence. She doesn't crumble easily because she's carried more than she's ever told you. But just because she's calm doesn't mean she's untouched. Just because she's loyal doesn't mean she's never wanted to walk away. And just because she's strong doesn't mean she's never felt fragile. If you have a Taurus woman in your life, or if you are one, let this be your reminder. Your softness is not a weakness. Your need for stability, your quiet strength, your resistance to chaos, it's not something you need to explain. You carry the earth in your bones. And some people will never know what it's like to stand that grounded, but those who do, they never forget you.